Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to create this full width content hover effect with a call to action button. When we hover over, we get our content up and a nice little call to action button there, and the little image moves in the background there. To do this today, we're using a premium plugin called Divi Image Hover Effects. And today is October 27th, 2020, and they've actually got a special deal on at the moment. I'll put the link below the video. They got 10% off. It's only $19 this plugin anyway, and you get over 250 of these hover effects. And you can install it on unlimited sites. So it's a really great deal. I bought it. I'm really happy with it. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable the Visual Builder. And let's just get rid of this row. Green tab for a row, blue tab for a section. And let's add a new row. I'm going to put in a single column. Inside, I'm going to add our Divi Image Hover plugin. And that's the widget you get with it, or the module you get with it when you install the plugin. Okay, you've got all kind of styles to choose from. I'm going to choose a modern one today. And I'm going to leave it on Alicia. Each of these styles has a whole load of different sub-styles that you can add to it. Okay, you can't see anything there now because we haven't put anything in. Let's put some content in. First thing is add an image. I'll use the same one as I did before, that little autumn leaves thing. Well, there we go. And as you can see, it's already got that nice little hover effect where it scoots to the side there. Now you can put your image alt text in below. Alt text really should be descriptive about the image itself, like autumn leaves or something like that, but a lot of people put in keywords and geolocation data there. Put in what you will. I'm not going to put any opacity on it. I want it fully visible. Now you get 3 words you can put across the top for your title, and each of them can be styled differently. You've got a prefix, an infix and a suffix. So let's say beautiful. Or whatever it is you want to put on yours. And as you can see, that's right there at the moment. Well, okay, let's put some content in. I've got some lorem ipsum dummy text here, so I'm just going to put some in there. And what I'll do next is make this full screen so we can fill out the content. So let's put this dummy text in there, and you're only going to see it when we hover. There it is. You can just about see it there, but we're going to edit this so you can see it all perfectly. Button text, whatever you want to say. With your button, and obviously put the link in down below. If you're navigating somewhere on your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're going off site to a different website, I recommend you open it in a new tab so your site stays open. Okay. Before we do anything else, what I'm going to do is make my row full width, so this thing's full width. And to do that, I need to go into my row itself. I'm going to go to Design. I'm going to go down to Sizing. For width, I'm going to drag that up to 100%. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it down in the max width below also. And as you can see, we've now got a full width, full screen image there. You can type it in below in the max width if you prefer. Okay, and the other thing is I've got a little bit of a gap there between the top of our section, or actually the top of the row, and the module itself. So while I'm in the row, I'm going to go into Design. I'm going to go to Shut Up Sizing. I'm going to go to Spacing. Make sure there's no padding top or bottom by just simply putting a 0 in there. Hit the chain, it'll do the bottom for you. There we go, we're butted up against the top there, which is what I want. And you may need to do that for your section. I'd already done it for my section if you don't want a gap there. Okay, well, let's get on with styling our module again. So I'm going to go back into the module, the dark tab right here. Image overlay. Well, I want an image overlay so we can read everything nicely. I mean, you can read that, but the text is getting lost in there. The button's okay, but we might style that button a bit more. So image overlay color, I'm going to hover over it and do one for when we're not hovering over it, a desktop, and this is common to all Divi modules. If you hover over the dark engineering, you'll see some icons pop up. If there's an arrow there, it'll give you the opportunity to set two different states: a desktop when your mouse is not on it, and a hover state when your mouse is on it. So desktop hover state, let's make it black, and I don't want it as black as that, so I'm going to click on the color, grab this right hand slider and pull it down. This is opacity or transparency. I'm going to put it down to where we can read our title but still see quite a lot of the image. So that's good right there. Now when we hover over it, I want it to come a little bit darker so we can read all that text. I'm going to make that a bit whiter in a minute. So let's go to our hover state now, the little arrow right there. I'm going to grab that same color. I'm going to bring the opacity back up some so it goes a bit darker. That's going to work fine. Fantastic. Okay, well, let's organize our content and button and put it where we actually want to put it. So we're still on the design, still on the content tab at the moment. We can close that up. Don't need a swap effect because that's for two images. We're not swapping images. Don't need a background because you're using our image as a background. We're already linking with the button. If you want to link the whole module, you can put a link in here, so anywhere they click, anywhere within this module, it'll take them to this link. Okay, design wise, title, I want to make that a lot bigger for a start. And I'll leave it as it is and we'll style some of those individually. So let's bring our actual text, title text size up so it's quite big, something like that. And again, if you need to, on mobile devices or smaller devices, if you hover over and get the icons up, hit the one that looks like a little mobile phone, and it'll give you a desktop, a tablet, and a phone version. And you click on either of those, it'll show you that version, and you may need to take your title text down for that particular version. Keep it in one line there. So it'll still be 75 on desktop, but it'll drop down to 51 on tablet, and you can do similar for mobile if you want to. Just put it back to however you want it. Great. So I'm not going to change any letter spacing. Let's put it back on desktop. Don't want any box shadow on it at the moment. Now we've got prefix, infix and suffix. We can edit these all separately. Beautiful is the prefix, autumn is the infix, and leaves the suffix. So if we go into the prefix, let's make it semi-bold. I'll leave the color as it is. Here's the font weight. And I'm going to do the same to the infix just below. Not going to put any other decoration on there. There we go. And let's go to the suffix, and I'll change the color on the suffix to the leaves and give it a bit of box shadow too. There's the suffix. Let's make it yellow. Oh, that's giving it the background color. I didn't want to do that. Let's just go down one. We'll make it yellow. And let's give it a little bit of box shadow just to make it stand out a little bit more. I think that one works fine. Yeah, the first one. Great. So that's pretty legible right there, I'd say. So if we keep rolling on down, let's go to our content now. And our content, yeah, it's still not very visible. So let's go. And you can give the whole of the text a background if you want to. I don't particularly want to do that, but I will change the content text color to a full white so we can see it. That's a bit better. And I'm going to bring it up a bit in size. Great. And then we'll do some spacing in a minute and align all this where we want it. Let's go down and decorate the button as well. That's the default button shape, which is okay, but I want mine a bit more custom than that. So alignment wise we're fine. I'm going to use custom styles for the button by hitting this switch right here. Text color's fine, size is fine, button background, let's make it orange. There we go. And let's make it red on hover, and again we'll just go over, hit the little arrow, so when we hover over it it's going to be red. And I'm going to do the same for the border color. Here's the border below it, so we're on hover state, so it wants to be red, and put it on desktop state and it wants to be orange on desktop. Let's make sure we got the red for our hover color there, orange for the desktop. Great. Right, well let's space this out a bit now because it's all squished up at the top there. I don't want a button icon on my button. If you notice when I hover over it there's a little icon there. I'm going to remove that. If you want to keep it, that's fine. You can choose from all of Elegant Themes icons here. There's plenty to choose from. If you want it to be visible all the time, there's a little switch here. You can switch to no, and it says only show icon on hover for button. If you switch that off, it'll be visible all the time, but I don't want mine on there at all, so I'm just going to switch it off. I'm not going to add any text shadow. I am going to push that button down a bit from here. I'm going to use a percentage, so let's say 5%. There we go, it's pushed it down a bit. I want to make it a bit larger all round, so button padding, let's say 15 pixels top and bottom. Just put in the 15, it'll put in the pix, hit the chain, it'll do the opposite side, and let's do 30 left and right. 30, again hit the chain, it'll do the other side. There we go, that's a bit better sized button right there. I'm not going to put any borders on, but I will use a bit of custom spacing to spread all of this out throughout our section here. So I'm going to go into custom spacing. We got the whole container right there. I'm not going to do anything to that, that's the whole thing. But title wise, let's give it a margin at the top of say 10%. That's okay, pushes it down there. And when we hover, let's put a margin on the bottom to separate the text of say 5%. You can do pixels if you prefer, or VH if you prefer that. Yeah, that's pushed that down a bit better. Everything seems to be aligning a bit better now. The actual text itself, I want to pull it in from the side by giving it a bit of padding left and right. So let's move over to the text tab. Let's give it 10% left and hit the chain and give it 10% right. There, that's pulled it in to the middle there. So we're in pretty good shape there. The only other thing is the actual time it takes to hover over and do this by default is 300 milliseconds, which is a third of a second, just under. It's pretty quick. I'm going to try and slow mine down a bit by going to the advanced tab, transitions. Let's try putting in 500. That should slow it down just a little bit. Now let's save our changes, save our page changes, save draft or publish if you're ready, and exit the Visual Builder. And there we go, there's our little hover effect full width image to text. And as you can see, our overlay gets darker when our content comes in there, and it lightens up when we've just got the title in there. And there's our little call to action button on the bottom. And that's a nice little effect to have on your site, really easy to do. Like I say, that's a great little plugin. I bought it and I'm very happy with it. I'll be using it a lot. And we've also got a series where we build these from scratch, a lot of these effects, so take a look at that as well. I'll put the playlist below the video. So I hope you've enjoyed that today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.